Just checking I've got the right thing pressed there. Nice. So soles of your feet together and your bottom tucked away from the bolster, and then lay back. And if you find that's not comfortable in the legs, then you can put your hands or blocks underneath your outer thighs, or you could just have your legs straight. And let's make any little adjustments you need to make so that you can be here for just a few minutes. So you're giving your bones a chance to settle, the connective tissue to open around the joints and release the joints. Feel the space of the shoulders and the hips easing off the longer that you're here. Opening up. And then imagine you've got a joint at the center of your forehead between your two eyes, and let that space soften and open. As if the eyebrows grow wider from each other. And feel any furrow of skin there flatten out, open up, decongest. And be smooth and full in your breath. As you breathe now, breathe into your abdomen, then into your rib cage and all the way up to the top of your chest. And then exhaling, letting the breath go and feeling your body relax another step further. Inhaling from your abdomen all the way up toward the collarbones. Long, smooth exhale. Take a few more rounds of breath like that. On your inhale, bring your knees in together. Exhale, pause. And then your legs can straighten if you want to or need to. Make your way up towards sitting. And then once you're sitting, sit back onto the edge of your bolster and bring the soles of the feet out wider than the bolster, toes turn slightly out as supported Malasana. So your feet are on the floor and your hips are sitting on your bolster, hands into a prayer position at the center of your chest. Lift your chest, gaze forwards. At any point you need to use anything other than the bolster, blocks are fine as well. If you don't have anything, then you'll just use your legs. Nice, steady gaze, so that nothing becomes a distraction. Feel like you're gazing through eyes of love. Imagine what love would see like. Undistracted, unwavered, firm in its intention. Hands come to the floor, straighten your legs out so your toes point forwards. And then as you bow over the legs, hold on to opposite elbows, letting your elbows become heavier in your hands, head heavier as it falls off the end of your spine. Then maybe taking a little sway around from side to side, so it's not the legs that are swaying, it's more your spine swinging. And then come back to center, returning back down into the squat. And then staying just on the edge of your bolster as you bring the right shin in front of your left shin and lift up tall. Now, if your bolster's really big and you end up with your knees really high and they feel like they need some support, you can wedge in a cushion underneath each knee, otherwise just let them go down. And then we're taking a twist here, so your hips are going to be high, probably about level with your knees. Twist toward the right, so your left hand comes onto your right knee and the other hand might rest on the back of the bolster, and gaze over your back shoulder, or just feel like your head is trying to turn more toward the direction of the back shoulder and your eyes continue to turn. So your eyes are included in this twist. When you come through center, can your right arm thread underneath your left arm and bring your hands onto your opposite shoulders. Walk your fingers around to the back of your shoulder blades, offering yourself a hug. Close your eyes and accept the offer. Receive the hug with warmth. Your eyes now closed, so there's an inward reflection of that love from yourself to yourself. And then as your eyes open, take your arms in front of you with the left wrist on top of your right wrist. Turn your hands so the thumbs point down and your palms face each other so you can interlace your fingers together. And then bring the knuckles downwards and round towards your chest. And then you might be able to take the arms through the gap and forwards a little. Some of you might even be able to straighten your arms. Just see where you get to with that. Don't force it, so it's just a loose opening out in the forearms and your arms to shoulders. Come back through the gap, your arms back out in front of you, and then open your arms wide as you inhale. And exhale, hands down, release the legs back into a supported squat position, elbows inside the knees, lift your chest. Straighten your legs out, toes point forwards. Holding on to opposite elbows, whichever way your hands clasp first. See if you can just switch so your hands are still holding the same elbow, but the cross of your forearms different, the other one in front. And again, a little swing, spine like a pendulum, round to the right, round to the left. And then when you come back to center, fingertips down to the floor, turn your toes out, return back down to your squat position. Left shin in front of right shin. Lift up through the chest. This time take your right hand to your left knee or thigh. And left hand making its way toward the support behind you. Turning your chest, but try not to let your hips turn on your bolster. Turn your chest and then the head continues to turn and then your eyes continue to turn. So it's like your pupils are trying to go as far to the left of your eyes as you can. The left arm's going to thread underneath your right arm as you come back to center, left arm under right, and hands onto the opposite shoulders. Wrap the fingers round your shoulder blades. And again, close your eyes. Now think of anyone that might have just nudged you a little today, someone who might have hit a nerve in your emotions, or someone that might have maybe triggered something in you today, someone that challenges you, and then see them in your mind's eye and offer a little bit of that love to them. Knowing we don't always know what's behind the intentions or the reasoning behind someone else's actions. So a little love and compassion towards that person. And imagine their attitude softening in the embrace of your love. When your eyes open, the arms straighten in front of you, your right wrist is on top. Then turn your thumbs down, so now your palms face each other, interlace your fingers. The knuckles come toward the floor and then through the gap. As they come upwards, they might not even come up, but just as far around as you can go. For some of you, they might continue to extend, but again, don't force it, so we don't want to be tugging on the wrist. Just see where you can go to within reasonable range of comfort. The elbows bend again as the arms comes back through the gap, back out in front. Both arms open wide, palms forwards, inhale. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Malasana, toes turn out. Uttanasana, forward bend. This time, instead of putting your hand, holding onto your elbows, straddle your bolster, maybe even put a block on top of your bolster, and try placing your hands onto the block. Or if you don't need the block or the bolster, your hands onto the floor. And if you manage to get your hands to the floor, maybe you can put your hands to the outsides of the feet. As you bow in, apply a little pressure into your hands to help push your way further toward the legs. If the elbows bend at all, the elbows bend in a backwards direction. And release your head. Walk your hands forwards, come to a downward facing dog. Feet don't really need to move anywhere. See if you can roll over the balls of your feet toward the heel of the foot. Walk your hands and feet towards each other so they meet in the middle of the mat. And roll your spine up. Roll all the way up until you're standing. And then turn around on your mat so you're facing your bolster. Yep, so you're still in the middle of the mat. And inhale as your arms lift up, gaze up. And exhale as you bend forwards, hands to the floor, or you can bend your knees to touch the floor. Inhale as you stretch your chest forwards, looking to the top end of your bolster. And then exhale, hands forwards a bit, legs back a bit. Step into a plank position so your shoulders line over your wrists. Your legs are straight and your core switches on. Touch the ground with your knees and then see if you can bend your elbows backwards, so toward the line of your hips, and lower your chest just to touch the bolster. And then push back up again and sit back to child's pose. Step your right hand out off the side of the mat. And then angle your chest on your right thigh and bring your left hand on top of your right hand. So the legs haven't moved, but your upper body has angled to the right. Open your hands back out wide. Left hand goes off the side of the mat. Chest onto the left thigh, right hand on top of left hand. So now you're angled toward the left. Your legs and your hips are just where they were in the center. Notice your breath. Where can you breathe to feel more? How can your breath integrate itself into the pose with feeling? Step your hands wide on the mat again. Into downward facing dog. Then step your right foot outside the edge of your bolster. So move your right hand out the way. As your right foot steps forwards, lower the back knee down to the ground. Take both arms up. Catch hold of your left wrist and lean slightly to the right. Keep the chest up tall, hug the belly in, and then bend a bit deeper into your right knee. Press down through your left knee, lift up through the skin over the left hip, over the left ribs, up through the left arm. When you release your left hand down, it's going to go to the left side of the bolster, right hand onto your right hip, and lift the back knee off the ground. Squeeze your hip points towards each other so it feels like you're narrowing your pelvis, and turn your chest to the right a bit more. Try and keep your right knee directly above the right ankle. And as your chest turns more and more and the shoulders begin to stack, float your right arm up. Keep the back leg firm and lift a little through the outer left hip as you squeeze in with your right hip. Bring your hand back down to the floor, replacing your hand where the foot was, and step to plank position. Try and lengthen so it feels like your face is trying to look in a mirror at the top end of your bolster. Touch your knees to the ground. Elbows bend so you lower your chest to lightly touch the bolster. This time, straighten your arms, point your feet, and see if you can lift knees off the floor and chest upwards away from the bolster, upward dog. And then knees can touch the floor, or you can just turn over your feet and go to downward facing dog. The left leg is going to come up and forwards, just outside the left side of the bolster, right knee down. Lift your arms up, catch hold of your right wrist. Start to lean toward the left. Lift through the chest, hug the belly in, and then bend a bit more into your left knee. See if you can dive into the stretch element of the lunge, but then meet the wall of strength to support it. So there's not so much strength that holds us back, but then not so much flexibility that we're just hanging in the joints. As you come up, right hand down to the floor, left hand to left hip. Lift your right knee. And again, try and feel a narrowing of your hips towards each other. Turn your chest toward the left. And check the left knee is still above the left ankle. As you continue to turn the chest, left shoulder above right shoulder, then float your arm. And this is where the knee might start to fall out, or the right hip might have sunken. So lift a little through the outside of your right hip, the right thigh, and squeeze in through the left hip. You might gaze up to the top arm. Left hand goes where the left foot is. Step to plank position. Push from your heels and get really long all the way out through the top of your head. Knees touch the ground. Bend your arms so you just lightly touch your bolster with your chest. Point your feet, straighten your arms so you come up to upward facing dog. And then again, your knees can touch the ground if you need to. Downward facing dog. Spread out your fingers. Take the weight of your torso as far back toward the legs as you can, without taking your hands and feet anywhere. Walk your hands and feet to the middle of the mat. Softening your knees and roll your spine up. Roll your shoulders down. Sit your hips back and reach your arms forwards. Stay like that, but bring your shoulders back so they line more over your hips and maybe the legs don't bend quite as much. Keeping your heels on the ground, shoulders lining as best you can over your hips. Open your arms wide and then wrap your right arm under your left arm, right arm under left arm, and see if you can either go hands to shoulders or wrap your forearms so your palms face each other. Lift your right heel off the ground so you're balancing more on your left leg, and then cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Toes can touch the floor, or toes can lift, or they can wrap around the back of your left leg. Squeeze in as if you're trying to narrow the pelvis into the pubic bone, and engage your pelvic floor muscles, your belly muscles, and lift through the spine. Undo the legs, open out your arms, and return your hands back down by your side. Sit your hips back, arms forwards. Draw your shoulders back to line over your hips, so it feels like your back's up against a wall, like you're doing a skiing squat. Arms open, then left arm under right arm. You can hug the arms around your shoulders or continue to wrap your arms so the palms try to meet. Lift the left heel, balance on your right leg. Cross the left thigh over your right thigh. Foot can hover or the toes can wrap around. Or if you feel you wobble, toes can stay on the floor. Find that gaze where, again, your gaze is not trying to fix itself on anything. It's like a gaze of softness, a gaze of compassion, undistracted, sure of its path. and its path is with everything. So you've got this really soft, expansive view. Unravel, and then arms open, inhale, arms down by your side, and exhale. So we're going to turn back to face the bolster. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, bow forwards. And then downward facing dog. Lower your knees down to the floor and turn your bolster so that we can use it for a couple of yin poses. So you're putting it across the mat like this. And then you can lower your forearms down onto the bolster and hips down. So option one for a lowest version of the back bend is to have your armpits resting over the bolster and your chin can rest on your hands or on the bolster, or you could bring a block in to rest your forehead on. That's your lowest level, or we can go a little further. We can be on our forearms. If the bolster's too high, just take that out. And again, you could bring the block in and rest your head down on the block, or you can just look straight forwards. Holding this with the intention of staying a bit longer, so we're developing time into the yin poses. And with that in mind, we know we're kind of putting some trust into time and what time can offer in terms of our yoga pose. Giving us chance to develop patience. Be patient with the results of your practice. Giving us chance to really slow down and to explore sensation rather than moving quickly and running away from it or trying to exit as soon as possible. Explore your sensation. Explore the feeling of meeting an edge of resistance and being okay with it. If the resistance feels electric or intense, then go to that lighter version, or even just lay flat on your tummy. Soften any areas that you can soften. Feel like the air you breathe is love flowing in and flowing out. Imagine love as an available thing that we can draw in whenever we feel out of line with it, out of tune with it. One more breath. Lower a little bit further down from where you are. Get a good purchase on the floor with your hands, and then carefully push back to a child's pose. Begin by bringing a block in for your forehead to rest on, and your arms just by the sides of the block. Position the block so it's along your brow line. So it's not in the middle of your forehead, but more along the brow line of your forehead. The edge of the block. And then we can just start to roll our forehead side to side really slowly. And if you need to adjust where the block is, the line of the block, then you can, so that you can feel you're going over any little like crystals that might have built up in there, or little knots within the muscles, any areas that are sensitive. Roll over carefully, but also know that you're helping to not dislodge so much, but break up that tension. No rush. Feel like you're giving yourself a really relaxing forehead massage. When you next get back to center, then just stay there. As you come up, come into a pigeon pose. So hands out wide, lift your hips, take the left leg back a little and swing your right foot toward the left edge of the mat and bring your shin forwards further. So your knee is toward the right hand and your foot is toward the left hand. Then continue to shift back in your left leg. If your right hip needs some support, you can take one of your bolsters, blocks or cushions underneath your right buttock to keep you quite level. We've got the bolster in front again, so we can lay down onto that. So you should be feeling this in your right hip or thigh, somewhere in that right side, more than the left side, but the hip more than the knee. So if you're feeling any pain in your knee, here's your alternative. You just have your left ankle crossed on your right, your right ankle crossed on your left knee, on your back. Okay, so if you're taking the alternative, and again, just make sure that you're feeling that in your hip, not your knee. So when we're practicing our yoga, we're trying to cultivate within ourselves what it is we want to see outside of ourselves. We're trying to cultivate within us what we want to be as a person and what we want to see in the world around us. So I'm sure anyone that's practicing is of a mind that cares. You're caring for yourself by practicing in the first place. And from care comes a more extreme version of care is love. So as you breathe, we'll practice bringing in love to ourselves. As you breathe in the air again, as if you're carrying love in through the air, breathe it into your joints. Imagine what the reaction in this pose would be in your body if you were to breathe love directly to the spaces that are feeling tense or resistance. It's like your body can let go from holding fear. And then we're also more accepting of where we are in our body, not pushing or trying overly, moving to a point where we know is truthful and honest within ourselves. And loving that, wherever it might be. We're going to make our way up a little, roll onto your right hip as you come up. Straighten both legs round in front of you nice and slowly so that the legs get a chance to straighten out without too much of a rush. And then just pause, sitting with your hands on your legs, or if you struggle to sit up easily, put your hands behind. Come back round to hands and knees, and we'll go to the other side. So hands wide, right leg back a little, bring the left leg forwards so the shin is diagonally across the mat. Left knee towards left wrist, left foot towards right wrist. Reach your right leg further back, prop underneath your left hip if you need to, and then lower down if you are onto a support. If you're not, then just down to the floor is fine. I often feel when I've got a wave of love traveling through me, like let's say I've just watched the most amazing sunrise, or that there's something beautiful I see outside in nature, or a really kind act of someone or something, or just a feeling of love to a member of your family or someone you love, whatever it might be that sparks off that feeling of love. It gives you that feeling of like you're melting inside, like it really softens you. The hard edges dissolve a little. So breathe your breath of love in and feel that dissolving within yourself. To every cell. Lots of little waves, lots of little ripples. Make your way up, roll towards your left buttock, and without shifting around, like forget about the lines of your mat, just roll onto your bottom and let your legs be straight wherever they land with the least effort. Don't worry where you're pointing or where you are in relationship to your mat. Just land, let your eyes close. Hands can support you from behind if you need to. Bend your legs in, and then in fact, I'm just going to turn around. So turn towards your bolster so that it's underneath the back of your knees. Keep your knees bent, and we're just going to take a 1 minute forward bend with our legs bent over the bolster, tipping forwards from your hips. If you need to, you could put a bolster between your tummy and your thighs, so there's something there to support you, or for your forehead to rest on, or nothing. Start to roll your way up and back to the floor so that you end up with the bolster just supporting the back of the thighs and knees, your arms fall wide. Again, forget about the lines of your mat and fall really greedily on the floor so you're taking up some space. Relax. Feel like the sky above is full of love. The air you breathe, the pulse of the earth, connecting to the pulse of you, all connected by love. Step into the matrix of love energy. Stay longer if you wish, or begin to move your hands and your feet, stepping your feet onto your bolster, pushing the bolster away, turning onto your side and pausing. Move your way up to sitting. Drawing your palms together right at the center of your chest. Bowing to that point as if you're bowing to love. Becoming a servant to the love within and around. The love in me bows to the love in you. Namaste.